Now, Georgia prosecutors might point out if Trump is elected president, he can just shut down Jack Smith's case or pardon himself, but he wouldn't have the right to do that with a Georgia investigation and or verdict. What's your response to that?
Let me say, first off, that I have no argument with the underlying conduct constituting something that should be seriously considered by any grand jury at the state or at the federal level.
When you listen to that call, is there a crime there? Is there a conspiracy to commit a crime?
I don't think there's a crime there, Jake.
She has 18 other defendants who have not been charged anyplace else that she could have charged without Trump and still had a very, very strong case down there.
I don't think there's a crime there, Jake.
Independent of that, when you read this indictment, is this a solid case, do you think?
The conduct is very disturbing, Jake.
I don't think there's a crime there, Jake.
When you look at what he's alleged to have done here, along with others on his behalf, the pressure campaign that was put on these folks.
I don't think there's a crime there, Jake. From what I heard, I don't see a crime there. I just think it's inappropriate.
Hey, it's far out.
Donald Trump ratcheted the pressure up even more, ultimately resulting in what we saw on January 6th.
I don't see a crime there.
And so, yeah, there's a lot of disturbing conduct here, not just by Donald Trump, but by a number of others named in the indictment.
When you listen to that call, is there a crime there? Is there a conspiracy to commit a crime?
I don't think there's a crime there, Jake. When I hear our democracy is at risk, it really isn't.
Everyone lit their hair on fire when that phone call was recorded on behalf of Raffensperger, right? It runs an hour and change. And the key line, I went back and listened to this morning, Trump says, look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes.
All I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
Now, and he says repeatedly, in my opinion, this is what we should do, in my opinion, et cetera. If he's speaking his opinion, is there a crime in this conversation?
Well, look, I think that's what a jury is going to decide.
When you listen to that call, is there a crime there? Is there a conspiracy to commit a crime?
I don't think there's a crime there.
If he's speaking his opinion, is there a crime in this conversation?
I think that's what a jury is going to decide.
I don't see a crime there. I just think it's inappropriate. It's the wrong thing to do, and it's something that the president shouldn't be doing.
When you listen to the entire conversation, he was attempting to do everything he can to get that result and putting pressure on them.
I don't think there's a crime there.
If you're going to continue to use the power of the presidency, which he was doing, to put pressure on people, you're going to put yourself in a very dangerous circumstance.
I don't see a crime there. I just think it's inappropriate. It's the wrong thing to do, and it's something that the president shouldn't be doing.
We can't normalize this conduct. I mean, this has never happened before in this country, ever, where you had a candidate for president of the United States conduct himself in this way, to disrespect the election process in this way, to refuse to accept the verdict of the voters.
I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president.
This has never happened before in this country, to disrespect the election process in this way, to refuse to accept the verdict of the voters.
Russians interfered in our 2016 election. They did so to favor Donald Trump.
All he's been talking about is that the election was stolen. When he was on another show on this network with Brett Baer a month or so ago, and Brett asked him, how are you going to get people who didn't vote for you in 2020, especially suburban women, to vote for you in 2024? And he said, well, I didn't lose in 2020. I mean, that's before he was charged with anything.
That's true. The same party that concocted a fake dossier and spent $40 million of our money for some garbage Russian collusion theory would try to rig an election? Of course it's feasible.
We need to make the case to Republican voters why we're the best person to beat Joe Biden. And I think by Donald Trump not being there, he's showing everybody what a problematic candidate he is against Joe Biden. He's not going to be there because he doesn't want to answer to all of these charges.
Folks, this case is ridiculous.
He doesn't want to be questioned by other candidates about all these charges. Well, he can't avoid that forever.
Is that a challenge?
It always has been a challenge, Bill, you bet.
No. It's a non-case. It's a fake case. This is not a case of a crime. It is a political attack.
If you're Governor DeSantis this morning, you're going to be wondering what the hell happened here. I'm now past him in New Hampshire after 2.5 months. And yeah, my first goal was to get there. My next goal is to beat Donald Trump. I've been saying it all along. If he doesn't show up, he's a coward.
When the pressure's been on Donald Trump like it was Thursday night in those debates, he stood up like a man. He fought back. He fought hard. And that's the way he'll fight for you.
If he doesn't show up, he's a coward.
Chris called me a couple of days ago and said, you know what you have is a movement. I've never seen anything like it. And he called me. I would have called him. I was sort of like getting ready to call him. And out of the blue, Chris called. And he said, I want to endorse you and your campaign. I've never seen anything like it. And many people have never seen anything like it.
You know, I do think when evidence starts to be presented, witnesses get on the stand and tell their story. And Donald Trump has to be sitting there. Remember, Jake, he has to be there every day.
I don't see a crime there.
He's going to be out on bail in 4 different jurisdictions in this country: New York, Miami, Washington, and Atlanta.
From a Democrat DA in Manhattan, a Democrat DA in Atlanta, a Democrat Attorney General in New York, a radical left-wing rogue prosecutor with now 2 grand juries, completely out of control.
Most people are not going to read the indictment, Jake. They're just going to read whatever news reports that they read about characterizations of it. It becomes much different when there's a trial going on. Is someone out on bail in 4 jurisdictions really our best chance to beat Joe Biden?
I watched these same bastions of liberalism burn down their own cities after they fumed over the fact that Trump was elected in 2016. And now what? After calling Trump supporters racist, bigoted, homophobic, istophobic, phobophobe, deplorable, uneducated rubes, they want all Trump supporters to just turn around and accept Joe Biden won in a fair election?
Does this man have the temperament and the character to beat Joe Biden and to be president of the United States again? And I firmly believe the answer to that is no.
That chance, buddy.
No.